except that you can read a book on your phone. The internet is a tool. You can be learning physics on it, or rotting your brain with some bullshit. Gen Z and millennials. What's something you wish the older generations understood? Just because I know where/how to find the answer to something doesn't mean I think I'm smarter than you. I'm just trying to save both of us from wasting time. For example, at work my motto is work smarter, not harder. I've had older co-workers try to scold me when they hear this. Then are shocked at the productivity my department is able to achieve. It's all about getting more knowledge into more people's hands. It makes everyone's lives easier. So many older people seem to have the mindset of if you're not struggling, then you're not being productive enough. Like you are obligated to make yourself miserable before you can say you've accomplished anything. If you have time to lean, you have time to clean is just bullshit and makes people act like they're working when they actually don't need to be. How much college and housing really costs compared to when they bought those things? And it's just a domino effect, too. The less reasonable college is, the harder it is to buy a house with all your loans. And both of those things make it very difficult to have children. Yes. We played guess how much this house is with my in-laws. They guessed in the $200,000 range for something that's actually $400-500K, and that was adding for inflation on their guesses. How did they react to the actual prices? Obviously we should pick a older part of town, then proceeded to show us some homes they found in a nice neighborhood, in a city location. Then told us we shouldn't be so set on our dream home single-family house for 3 kids, 2 adults and dogs. That the cost of education far outpaced inflation and wage growth in the US. If I had a dime for each boomer who lectured me about working my way through school like they did, I might almost be able to buy a house. And working through school for them means working on their summer holiday, not literally having a job all year. Yes. I worked through school and it took me 10 years to get a bachelor's degree because I had to have a full-time job. Cool, I graduated with very few student loans, but my career got started relatively late and it just so happened that it was during the recession in 2009. Yay me. Similar here. Worked full-time through school, took 6.5 years, graduated in 2011 at age 27. Only did not have loans at the end because wife also worked full-time. There is no teaching/curriculum related reason for college to be thus expensive. It doesn't matter how much I work. I busted my ass for my old boss for years, and when I decided to leave he tried to tell me a story about how when he was my age he worked as much as I did and bought an apartment complex as a side hustle. I replied I would love to do that, and asked for a raise, to which he declined. Older generations love to spout how new generations hate to work. We don't hate to work, but we want to actually enjoy our fucking money. Yeah, we don't mind working as long as we get paid a decent living wage. Which so many employers refuse to do, then wonder why they have issues getting good employees, or any employees. I usually respond to accusations of entitlement and hatred of work with the generation out here working unpaid internships in the hopes of getting underpaid entry-level positions are the ones who hate work and are lazy and entitled. No one has ever come back with an argument to cancel that out. Kids use computers/phones for more than just playing video games and scrolling through social media. I basically live on my computer. My best friends are online. My favorite activities are coding and making games. But no, my parents assume the devil computer is rotting my brain and making me stupid. As a wise man once said, phone bad, book good. Edit. This kinda blew up, so I'll just add a little clarification. I'm not saying it's healthy to stare at screens all day. I'm not saying parents should let their children use electronics all the time. It's good to monitor and regulate their hours. They just do it way too much. Parents will limit their kids to 1 to 2 hours a day because they assume the kids aren't doing anything productive or intellectual. They assume all we do is play games and use social media, when in reality I and many others spend very little time doing those things. Except that you can read a book on your phone. The internet is a tool. You can be learning physics on it, or rotting your brain with some bullshit. That $15/hour in 2021 does not give you the same purchasing power that it did in 1985. When I hear an older person say I used to get by just fine on $15/hour, I wanna slap them. Oh my god, this. I heard some old guy talking at the grocery store about how he made $15 an hour his whole life, blah blah blah. Dude, rent was like $300 a month and the cost of living was significantly cheaper. What do they not understand? It's surprising how few people my age don't understand inflation. My first apartment, in the early 90s, was $215 per month for an efficiency. If I could get an apartment for that kind of rent today, I would live like a goddamn king. I saw someone renting out a master bedroom with no kitchen access on Facebook the other day for $1,200. Other small rooms around me go for $800, $1,000. Yeah, we know. You rode in the back window of a car that had no seatbelts, you got measles, rode bikes with no helmets, and still turned out just fine. Just because you happen to be in the group of people who survived doesn't mean any of these were a good idea. I got into an argument with my mom and her birth mother about this. My mom is always like, we survived. And I am like, so many died though. Her birth mother was also like, and they built cars out of metal so they'd last too. And my husband was like, yeah, old cars are great and they last, but new cars are made to crush so that if you are hit it absorbs the impact. Like talking to a brick wall. Cars crumple in specific zones and are protected in specific zones so the people in the car don't get smushed. A lot more people today walk away from accidents they otherwise would have died in 20 to 30 years ago. That everything they took as a norm, as a given, for granted, no longer exists. We don't get a job for life. College doesn't equate to getting a career. Marriage and children are a privilege many can't hope to afford. Mortgages are unattainable for many, etc. I have a boomer housemate that is so out of touch with how the world actually works these days. She will preach about how certain systems work, like education, finance and even property, because she apparently used to own a few. The problem is none of the info is relevant anymore, and she refuses to see that things are wildly different now even as they happen to her. We're in the middle of being evicted due to our landlord selling, and she just has no idea about how dehumanizing and difficult these things are. She's learning the hard way that things don't just magically work out. Anytime there is a new hurdle, she just throws a tantrum and expects someone else to do it or for it to magically go away. If she's renting with roommates, how has she not grasped these things? They took everything. They are still taking everything. Their lifespan is draining our whole society from pensions, healthcare, education, housing, tax policy, the list goes on and on. They took advantage and were bad stewards of the society they inherited. The me generation is not millennials. It's the baby boomers. Hell, they are even slowing modernization with the sheer fucking voting power they have. I had a client earlier in the year who is a baby boomer that apologized to me and my generation for exactly this. It actually made my heart smile that she recognized it. I figured if she does, others around her age must. The like target for this video is 56 likes. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to indietts if you like our videos. I will see you in the next video.